This is the controversial game. This is the one with the wretched Kiddy Kong, known for his war crimes throughout the Kong sphere, the Cremosphere, the Kong sphere. I don't know. It's also got like this weird like childish look to it, like the toy thing, as you can see here. This game also came out when the Super Nintendo came out, which is something that people don't like about it as well. I don't think this game is bad. I don't think this game is bad by any means. There are issues that exist with it, but I think it's still a good game. I think people are too harsh on this game. I do definitely agree though that it was a bizarre misstep. Just a confounding misstep that they made you have Kiddy Kong as a playable character, and that they didn't just stick with the Diddy or Dixie dynamic, or heck, even just bring Donkey Kong back. Donkey Kong would have been preferable to this thing. But yeah, Kiddy's trying his best. Kiddy's trying his best. Okay, so we have to do a thing here. I see. So we have to save the game first. Okay, we have to like get an existing file, I think, or something like that. So one player game, yep. Initials, what should the initials be? Should they be ass? Or should they be just put in an abbreviation of my name? Maybe just an abbreviation of my name. We'll keep it simple. Even though ass is easier to type. How about we'll go with that. Masu. All right, but yeah, we'll have to exit out to get the code activated after we get a save, which is pretty much right away. Oh yeah, I also gotta change the titles. I almost forgot. Gotta change all that. All right, we'll update that, and we'll update the title at the top here. 1996, baby. All right. And I remembered. I remembered to do it. Sometimes I take an hour into the game before I remember to update my stuff. I'm on top of it today. All right, so I guess that counts as a save, right? I think so. We'll double check. Look at her playing Mario 64. Yeah, it should definitely be saved now. And we'll do a reset. The Mr. FPGA is just a friggin' awesome system. It is definitely one of the best purchases that I've made. It's so easy to set up, too. Alright, so now we gotta do the code. Let's see if we can get this right. And we type in Mary. Why is she crying? Why is she upset about Christmas? Do you have a problem with Christmas, Dixie? We're just gonna skip this. I don't want to read it out. Here's his wretched child. Hang 5 Kongs. Enjoy the awful creature. Hey, let's check this out. We don't have to, but let's check it out. It's a Simon Says minigame. With banana birds. B, B, X. B, B, X, Y. And let me get a banana bird. Yay. I like bananas. Okay. Now we can finally play the game after we got through a little intro. Lakeside Limbo, let's go. So, the way that the Kongs work in this is quite a bit different from how they worked in the last game. In this game, You've got the heavy dynamic back, but with the buddy system here with throwing. Dixie can't throw Kitty for shit. However, Kitty can be used to access specific things and certain secrets. So, to reiterate, we're not doing 100%. I'm just kind of doing a casual run-through. But I'll get some things like this when I feel like it. And the game will let me actually do it properly. Try that throw again. Two up. There we go. You do stuff like this sometimes to get secrets. And here it is. It's Christmas. This is why we're playing this on Christmas Eve. Fun fact, Nintendo has always, whenever they've re-released this game on their services, whether it be the Virtual Console or their NSO platform, they have always released this game in December, usually very close to Christmas. And I'm not sure what the release date of this game was exactly, but I'm pretty sure that it just has to do with a cheat code, and whoever works at Nintendo just knows that and does it on purpose, and I guess it's kind of cute. It's kind of a amusing touch. The water skipping technique is cool. I like that a lot. I think that's a really neat addition. So, can we go back for this? Yeah, we just go down here. We're going through more extra bonus levels because Christmas. Presents. It's exciting. It's actually pretty cool how many games, even newer games, have like a Christmas thing going on. I know that Sonic Frontiers has a free Christmas outfit for Sonic. A lot of nice Christmas modes for mini games, old and new. I think that one thing about this game, I would say that's a bit of a weakness at times, is some of the environments aren't as good. Some of the level aesthetics aren't as strong. Like, for example, I'm not a huge fan of this. I also know I missed some stuff in there, but oh well. I'm not a huge fan of this type of level, and there's quite a few of them. In general, most of World 1 style levels, I'm not a big fan of. Like, this one's not really to my tastes either. I find this one to be a little too meh. So there's like a few weak ones. There's a few weak ones, I think. But I think most of the levels have pretty good aesthetics. There's definitely some pretty incredible ones. Definitely some amazing ones. But, like, the snow one's good. I like the snow one a lot. And the underwater stuff is fantastic. I really like the underwater levels and how they look. The music is quite excellent as well. David Wise, as far as I know, had very minimal, if not no, involvement with this game's soundtrack. It was like a woman. I can't remember her name, unfortunately, at the moment. But I like her work on this game as well. Pretty cool stuff. Find the coin. I wonder why the music resets every time. I really need to get around pretty quick here because I have very little time left. I need to get around to watching some Christmas stuffs. I haven't really watched much. But there's a couple that I want to watch before it expires. Tokyo Godfathers is definitely high on the list. Thankfully, with Tokyo Godfathers, that movie, it's a pretty wide berth, I feel. Like, you can watch that pretty much anytime around the holiday seasons. This is not ultra Christmas adjacent. Only like a small part of it, and then the rest is kind of like spaced out from Christmas to New Year's, I believe. Alright. Somehow I got hit already. Hopefully we don't die in a hilarious fashion. There's a bonus I'm gonna miss here, but I don't care. Also, fun fact, tons of these early levels have warps. I don't remember where all of them are, but I know where a few are. Another thing I quite like about this game is it doesn't have, like, saves costing you anything. The saves are free. I appreciate that. I think that's a nice touch. Because it never really made much sense to me that you had to pay to save. That was always kind of just lame to me. Especially when they reset all of your money every time that you reset the game. Alright, so we need both Kongs for that. I guess we're not getting that. Can I switch here? No, I can't. Okay. Some of Dixie's moves, like with her hover thing, reminds me a little bit of Mario World with the cape. Only a little bit, though. It's kind of a sort of similar idea, but with a much greater nerf, where it's not as broken. But Dixie definitely just lets you skip, like, pretty large sections of some levels if you know how. Which is definitely the similar idea to the cape. Yeah, we're doing pretty well here. We skipped, like, everything in this level, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get more Christmas, a dose of Christmas pretty quick here. In fact, this is a winter level. So, hold on a sec, I wanna change something here. There we go. Okay. So I've been rewatching, Dragon Ball, right? Like the original anime series. Been working my way through that slowly. And I'm almost done, actually. But I have been doing a pretty liberal amount of skipping with certain parts, like the Red Ribbon Army is honestly pretty long, kind of dull arc. I guess they call them sagas, though, but it's all kind of the same thing. But I kind of find it to be like that whole section of the story to be just mostly massive amounts of filler. Just absurd amounts of it. That's kind of one thing in general about the original anime that I had forgotten about, is just how much filler there actually is. Some of it's more interspersed throughout, though, or it's not as egregious as, like, something like the infamous original Dragon Ball Z anime, where it's really out of control. It's not nearly as insane as that, but it definitely has its moments where it's like, man, I didn't think there was that much filler. Like, I recently just finished the King Piccolo saga, right? And I remembered that... in my head, I remembered that having very little filler, next to none, and being pretty, like, a pretty straightforward, well-paced, like, you know, story, right? And recently finishing that, it isn't. It actually has shitloads of, like, filler that are, like, pretty poorly interspersed and, you know, put into it. There's, like, a lot of, like, you know, breaks in the fights and stuff that they shove in with, like, other characters that you don't care about, like Yamcha and the gang, which are already almost completely irrelevant by that point in the story. So it's pretty wild to me that my memory wasn't really as accurate as I remembered. Right, so there's a warp right there, but we'll just do the full level to get all the content. This isn't really my favorite level, but it does introduce Ellie the elephant, I guess, which is an okay animal companion. An okay animal buddy. Just decidedly okay. Ellie is afraid of mice. It's that elephant meme. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I should probably look that up at some point. Are elephants actually afraid of mice? Is that a thing? Or is that just something that they made up in fiction? Speaking of elephant stuff, have I even seen Dumbo? Maybe I saw Dumbo, like, once. I wonder. Maybe I should see it? I don't know. Is it even any good? I have no idea. We're gonna bash some baddies. Bash them good. I like how Ellie was running in place there. That was pretty good. Alright. Oh yeah, they're invincible, I forgot. I actually need to go grab that again. You can't kill the red ones. So there's a little fun fact about these things. They have a name, I think. Everything has a name, obviously. Buzzers or something, I don't know. But you might notice that these guys, they don't look like your ordinary zingers, right? They look completely different. There's actually a fun little lore reason for that. Yes, Donkey Kong Country has a lore. There's a fun lore reason. And it's because you killed King Zing Sting and the Queen, which I don't remember what the Queen's name was, but you killed both of them, so you effectively killed the entire Zinger population. You've committed some form of genocide against the Zingers, so the only things that are left now that are on K. Rool's side are these, what's the word, robotic, cybernetic, something like that. They're basically, they're substitutes. They're not Zingers anymore. Because we killed them all. Every last one of them, every woman and child. Slaughtered them like bees. So that's some dark history. Some dark history that this game introduces. Oh yeah, we have to time this, do we? Cool, that's done. Alright. So we got this little mini game, Swanky's Sideshow. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. I don't remember what the rewards are for this. Well, would you believe it? Hello, Kongs. Welcome to my all-new bonus tent. My show on the road, and it's in every land. The cost of this game? 2 coins in the hand. There are some great prizes on offer today, so come on in and choose to play just to do blah blah blah. You're talking too fast. I can't read this in time. Hello, Memento Morina. Welcome. I recognize that email. What is that from? I've definitely seen that around. Yeah, I've seen your emote somewhere, I think. Okay. So we got a game here. We got options head-to-head, race to 25, and endurance. No one stole your emote. Just, I think I've seen it around somewhere, that's all. I looked at it, and I have, like, extensions that tell me where emotes come from. I'm like, oh yeah, that's your emote. It's a nice emote. It's a good emote. And you got a card swipe as well. That's good as well. Alright, so basically we just throw shit. I haven't done this minigame in ages. We hit targets. Requires fairly close attention. I don't think you actually need to hit the center or anything. You just have to hit it at all. I think the early ones are pretty easy, but it gets much harder in the later ones. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Alright. So what do we get for that, though? What's the reward? Just lives? Banana bunches? Coins? Okay. A lot of good emotes here. A lot of good emotes. These are all things that I approve of. Yeah, there's not a lot of rewards for that kind of thing. Maybe the other ones give you more. I don't know. It's pretty optional, really. It's not something to concern ourselves with too much. Alright, so we got ourselves the first boss. This is kind of a gross boss. This is a very 90s boss. Very 90s boss right here. A lot of gifted. A lot of gifted subs. Yeah, I tend to get gifted subs quite a lot too. There was a really strange period where for years I'd be watching Twitch and I would never see a gift sub in my life. It was probably like a 3-year period I didn't see a single one. Anyway, that was a boss, if you want to call it that. There's like a really long period I didn't see a single one. And it's funny because it was only when I changed my name, like my username, that I actually started getting gift subs. And then like I pretty much got them on a frequent basis. Super weird. Maybe I was like bugged or like I was not in the system or something. I don't know. Maybe it's because the account's really old. It's weird to think about. Or maybe my odds were just that shitty. The way that gifted subs work is strange. I'm not even sure if we know exactly how they work these days. I know there was that like Twitch leak that revealed like source code and other things ages ago, but I don't know if any of that's even relevant now. Because I don't really get the way that gift subs are distributed, right? Because you can, I've been in streams where more subs are given out than people in the stream watching, right? And I don't really understand, like, I'll see that, and then, like, there'll be people who will still miss a sub, including me, right? So I'm like, I kind of wonder why it distributes like that. I guess maybe it does that on purpose, just because, it wants to promote your stream to other people who aren't watching you at the moment. I should have went to Dixie. She has a smaller hitbox. I already screwed that up. I don't know if I can go try that again either, can I? I might be able to. Wow, how far back did this bring me? Really far back. That was like a big warp. Yeah, I want to give this another shot. Just for fun. Yeah, just random. Oh, yeah, they throw bulbs. I didn't notice that. I think, yeah, they like throw Christmas stuff. Pretty cool. We're going out of our way for a few more bonuses just because it's the holiday season and we're taking advantage of the cheat code. Yeah, I was working on, I was talking about earlier, I'm working on a long-term project of getting some real hardware going for some streaming and just personal enjoyment as well for some certain consoles, mainly ones that the Mister doesn't cover, which would be like the PS2, the Wii, and the GameCube. Those are the main consoles, at least for the time being, that concern me. Perhaps N64 at a later date. Also considering that maybe as well. And I just generally like to use real hardware with games because less input lag, or rather zero input lag typically. And it's just it's a nice vibe, and you don't have weird emulator problems or other compatibility issues that come up like they do with emulators sometimes. So I've been working towards that, but it's definitely a fair bit of work initially. It's nice once that stuff's all set up, of course, but it's also costs money too, so that is a barrier as well. But I ordered a Nintendo Wii yesterday on eBay. Looks like a good one. It's the one that supports the GameCube as well. And I'm gonna hack up that Nintendo Wii when I get it. Get some nice custom firmware and homebrew on that. And then play, and then, you know, have the ability to play those whatever games that I want. Got a 512 gigabyte SD card ordered as well that I'm going to be using for that. And I'm looking forward to getting that set up and going. But I am missing one of the key ingredients at the moment, which is the RetroTink 5X, which is the best, at least currently, the best retro console video game upscaler that you can buy. It is quite expensive in Canada, unfortunately, which is the one barrier and why I don't have one yet. But I think I'll be able to get one. I think I'll be able to get one in New Year's. roundabout there. So I'll eventually have one. And I'll be looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time. But it's definitely something I'm working on in stages. It's not all at once. The PS2 stuff in particular has been quite the trial. I'm still working out a few kinks, but I've got most of it figured out, thankfully. That jump was screwed up. Oh well. PS2 stuff, like hacking a PS2 or like soft modding it and stuff like that. Nightmare. Just a nightmare, man. It's not nearly as easy as what people would lead you to believe. There's a lot of like old misinformation about stuff too, like certain methods or techniques or outdated info that's just not at all helpful. It's kind of just one of those scenes that's really, I wouldn't want to say underdeveloped so much as I think the problem is that the PS2 scene is much harder than a lot of other consoles because the PS2 has like quadrillion amount of games. I think the PS2 library is something like 4,000 games or something like that. So like when you have that many games, it becomes quite the logistical nightmare making sure that everything works, whether it be through an emulator or through like a hack and stuff, right? With real hardware. So it's definitely not a simple, straightforward process, so I definitely understand that. It's just that, you know, basically every other console that I've done this with has been a breeze, or like just way easier in general. So it's really surprising to me. Like, it kind of shocked me at how janky the whole soft modding and hacking of a PS2 is, like that whole process and getting certain things working and set up. But I definitely have learned a lot, I'll say that. And they got most of it figured out and working these days. One thing that I'm waiting on to do last is, because it's a money thing and I think I should be able to do it. I think I should be able to pull it off, is I'm gonna attempt for a second time to mod the official Ethernet adapter for the PS2. Which is a mod to make it so that it's a use SATA to IDE. It's a nerd thing. It's a nerd thing. But I talk about nerd things quite a bit. It's basically an adapter that you put inside of the Ethernet adapter itself to change it so that you can use a modern hard drive. Because I bought a 2 terabyte hard drive specifically for putting inside of a PS2. And I still would like to get that set up if I can. But my first attempt at it, the Ethernet adapter broke. I have a theory as to why it broke, though. I think I might know what happened. Basically, there's like a connector that has these 2 chips that are connected to each other. And I think what ended up happening was when I was trying to open it, I put on too much pressure because I didn't have the exact correct tools to open it up. So I had to kind of like put on more pressure than normal to open the damn thing. Because it's like anti-tamper, right? Like they don't want you to open it. And I think what happened is I ended up putting on too much pressure, and I might have jostled the connector loose before I had opened it. And I think that might be what might have been what did it. Because once the connector broke, then, you know, the Ethernet adapter was essentially a brick, right? Hey, Cassie Starlight, welcome. Happy holidays. I hope they're happy. And if they're not happy, well, I understand completely. I've had some bad ones too. All right. But yeah, so I'm going to attempt that mod again, but I'm going to have proper tools for it this time. So I ordered an iFixit Pro Kit, or whatever it's called. It's basically like a toolkit that is designed to open up gadgets and gizmos that don't like to be opened, like, say, an iPad or like a, certain other things like controllers or whatever it may be, right? Apparently, these things are really legit, and they have, like, really, really high reviews and top marks. So they say it's worth it. And, you know, they have a lifetime warranty, and they're essentially meant to last you for your life, because they're just, you know, scrolls and scrolls. What are scrolls? What are scrolls? Why did I say that? they're a screwdriver and bits and pry tools and stuff, and that stuff's supposed to last you. So it's a good investment, just kind of a little bit of an expensive one up front. But it seems worth it to me. And when I have that toolkit, I am going to take an educated guess. It's going to be way easier to open that stupid adapter up and do the mod, and it will probably go just fine. That's the hope, at least. We'll see how that goes, though. But I'll keep you all updated on my PS2 and Wii modding adventures. And eventually, I'll be able to stream them right here on twitch.tv. But yeah, I'm happy that things are happy for you, all things considered. And these things die from this? No, they kill those. Okay. It's these things that are the bad news. Oh, it died. Rip. I should have used Dixie. Dixie's easier for those. But yeah, this game's fun. I think this game's fun. People rag on this game a little too hard. It's got its problems. One of the problems this game has, to get it out there, is obviously this wretched beast, this wretched Kong. Nobody likes Kitty Kong. Unappealing character. Made no sense why they had this thing. But he's doing his best, and that does matter. But also, the other problem that this game has is, for some people, it has too many collectibles and bonuses and stuff. And you don't get the true ending and the true final boss of the game unless you 100% it. So those are things that drag it down for some people. Some people are not as big of a fan of that sort of thing. And it's understandable, but I wouldn't say it makes it a bad game or anything. I think a big part of the issue is that this game came out at a really bad time. It came out when the N64 had already been released in 1996. And people didn't want the old dumpy, you know, Super Nintendo anymore. They wanted those 3D graphics. They wanted those triangular titties and stuff like that. You know, they wanted their Lara Crofts, and they wanted their Marios. So it was just all kind of like, you know, a different time. And now people these days are more receptive towards 2D games again, right? And we've kind of wrapped around to that. I knew I was going to screw that up. That's one of the harder bonuses. Those types. I won't worry about it. The important thing is that I tried. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting time. Interesting time for video games. The premiere of 3D graphics to the majority of the world. Yeah, there are definitely some people I've seen where there is that mindset that's returned of 2D game bad. I do agree, I've seen it with some stuff. I've seen some people get a little too harsh with indie games, where they'll say, like, you know, oh, another 2D pixel indie game. I've seen that, yeah. I don't agree with it, but, you know. Yeah, there's been a bit. You're right. But also, you know, there's still a lot of people who are definitely completely okay with it. Right. Yeah. I've seen a little bit of that too. A little bit of those discussions with, like, you know, things not being worth a certain price. That's a really tricky topic. The whole thing of, like, what is a game worth, right? Like, what's the value of a video game? Oh, that's a difficult topic because it's a very heated discussion, that type of thing, like what a game is worth. What I can say is, knowing that it's really difficult to make video games, I'm pretty okay with paying a little extra money for some of my games. It just really depends on what it is and who's making it, right? That's kind of a lot of it for me, is who's getting the money, where's it going? Because, say for instance, I think a good example of this would be a game called Carrion. I think it's called Carrion, An 2D indie game where you play as like a Cthulhu-esque abomination monster that is in a science facility, and you eat up and kill and wreck all the scientists with your tentacles and your stuff like that. The game basically can be done in, I think, like 4 hours or less. It's a pretty short game. And the game as a base price is something like, I think, $20 or maybe a bit more than that, depending on your region, right? It's a fairly quote-unquote expensive game for something so short. But it's tricky because, for one thing, it's an indie game. It's not like it's got this big publishing thing behind it. It's not like it's got this huge backing and funding. And it's also a more unique type of video game, because that's the trick, right? It's a more unique concept, so it's kind of selling a more unique gameplay experience, even though it is shorter. So it's a tricky topic, right? Because it's like, well, the game's short, and if the game's short, is it worth what they're asking? When you can buy this game that's like 40 hours, and you can get it for $6 because it came out in, you know, bumfuck, you know, 2001 or something, right? It's tricky. I think I see more people equate their time to the cost of something, right? It's like, how much content or how long is it is where my dollar value lies, you know? That's what I see a lot of. I'm not sure if I entirely agree with it. It depends. It depends, because, like you say, not everyone is a fan. Not everyone is a fan of games that have quadrillions amounts of playtime on them. Not everyone's big on that. Sometimes we don't want to play games that are 100 hours long. For me, sometimes I do. But the game has to be good enough to justify it. It's tricky. It's pretty easy to lose the attention of, you know, somebody when they're playing a game. It's pretty easy to lose them and, you know, get them impatient, right? Like, it's getting people impatient in a game is pretty easy to accomplish. And when the game is really long, that's definitely a struggle. And it's something that I've noticed a lot of more modern AAA games having a problem with, where they're having a pretty hard time getting players to continue playing their game because of how long it is. So as a result, their reaction has been to dumb down the game, either in the gameplay or by providing hints, in order to help keep the players playing the game and not getting stuck for any lengths of time. Because if they get stuck for any length of time, then that means that they might not play the game anymore. And then people don't get to enjoy their high-budget video game that they spent all this money on. So, like, there's a lot of psychology things that go into modern games as well. It's definitely influenced the way that they're made. I know, like, the new God of War Ragnarok, is one of those games where it's not an open world game, but it's a pretty big game. And I've heard one of the main criticisms about the game from a lot of people is that it has, like, basically there's puzzles to break up the action sections and stuff like that. And the puzzle sections they give you no time to solve them yourself. So basically, as soon as you get into an area that's got a puzzle, the characters around you, or the character you're playing as, will just start telling you the solution. They'll just tell you how to complete it, and they don't give you time. And there's no way to turn that off either. Which some games actually let you turn stuff like that off. So there's weirdness. There's weirdness with some things these days, for sure. Yeah, so I'm like, when it comes to RPGs or MMOs, like, that's a different topic. I wouldn't mind getting into it, but, like, it's a different topic, right? I think RPGs, and especially MMOs, take a very specific type of person. And usually that type of person is either a person who only plays that genre, or they're people who only play the one game. So, like, if it's an MMO, usually people who play MMOs only play that game, and they don't play other ones. And if they do play other ones, it's rare. Like, they might play, like, the new Pokemon, like the mainline Pokemon that comes out every 2 years or whatever. They might play that, but they won't play anything else between that except their MMO. So people, there's all kinds of people out there who play different games in different ways, right? They all have their own tastes. They all have their own preferences. We're already at the boss, huh? All right. But yeah, everyone's got their own way of doing things. I don't think anyone's wrong about what they prefer. I think that people are just different, and that's just how it is. And I definitely feel that there's multiple generations, right? Multiple generations of people playing games at this point, and everyone's got their own thing with how they play a game and what types of games they play. It's an interesting time, and it can be easy to get caught up in the whole thing of like people are playing the game wrong type deal, or people aren't playing the right types of games, stuff like that. But I do feel a lot of it just comes from the whole idea that, you know, that people can't enjoy certain things. Oh, I'm starting to drop frames. So this is the part of the stream where I drop frames. Depending on how things go, I'll keep an eye on it, but this is around the time of the evening where I start to drop a lot of frames because of the holidays and internet bandwidth being shit when everybody's home. So we'll see, but hopefully I can keep streaming. But if it gets too bad, we'll see how it goes. I would like to keep streaming regardless, but you know, if I'm just dropping like thousands of frames, then we'll see. But yeah, I would like to keep going regardless. But yeah, I think that like, say for instance, one thing I see a lot of with retro game community stuff as well, like on Twitch, which, you know, I would say I'm a part of this community of retro gaming on Twitch. One of the common complaints or criticisms that I hear a lot of these days, some to which I would say some of it is valid, is... Oh, there's my frames dropping again. A whole bunch of them dropping. That's a lot. That's a lot of dropped frames. It's always around the same time, too. Well, it seems like it's recovered for now. But yeah, I see, if I can make my point without the frames dropping again. This level's awesome, by the way. I love that the way that the underwater levels look in this entry. Very cool, and a cool remix of the aquatic ambiance from the first game. But yeah, open world games get a shitload of like flack from the retro gaming community. I don't think I fully agree with it. I think what it is it's generational stuff, where like, because they don't like the way that some open world games that they've tried or have watched people play on Twitch, that they assume that every open world game is like that, you know, and that they're all bad by default. Because the thing about open world games, the way that I personally like to approach an open world game when I do play them, is I don't do everything. I find that people tend to get overwhelmed by those games when they come in with the impression that they need to do everything in the game. Like, and that they can't move on until they completely 100% a section. Or something like that. I find that those games are far more entertaining and just easier to get into if you just like go in, just do clusters of the things that interest you the most, and then just move on to the next area. And you don't like try to do everything in one section. Because that's like that's how you burn out in a lot of games. Like, if I were to play this game 100% every single time that I played it, I would get burned out most likely. Like, I would probably not enjoy this very much if I tried to get every single thing every single time. So I think that, like, you know, perhaps more flexibility in the approach of playing some of these games could involve a lot more enjoyment. But I do think that there are definitely a good number of games that are open world that don't need to be. I think that there are some games that it's a detriment. Like, for example, the ever so popular and controversial Cyberpunk 2077, right? That game suffers from being an open world game. In a lot of ways, it's not even an open world game. And the only reason it's an open world game is because executives wanted it to be. That's really the reason why. Cyberpunk would be so much of a better game if it were just formatted like Deus Ex or Stalker, where it just has sectioned off open world areas, like miniature open world areas that you're in. They're just larger levels that don't need to interconnect with anything else. If they had done that for that game, that would be a so much better game than it ended up being. Because I think, like, I'm a person who did most of the content in that game, and I can confidently say, from my opinion, of course, I don't think that game's very good. I think it's pretty mediocre. I think that the best thing about that game is its visuals, if you have a computer that can run it, which not many do. I happen to be one of the people who can, but, like, it is not like an amazing game. This whole, like, it's weird because, like, when the anime came out, Edge Runners, which is quite an excellent anime, I actually liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. Edge Runners is like a million times better than the game, including from a writing POV. It just nails and does everything more correctly and better than the game ever could. And it's just funny to me that when that came out, everybody's like, Cyberpunk, the game, is good now. Like, Cyberpunk 2077 is amazing now. And then I went back to play it after it got a quadrillion amount of patches. I did this like 3 months ago or something. And my impressions basically were even more negative than the last time I had played it, where it was like, man, this game actually feels worse than what it did when I played it at launch. I don't know. Like, obviously everyone's got their own opinions on stuff, but I think that that game has had some really weird marketing behind it where, like, that was stupid. Why did I do that? I got wrecked. I think that game's got some really bad marketing in the sense that, like, it's so hyper aggressive in its marketing that, like, people will just like a thing as long as it's marketed enough. That's kind of my feelings on it sometimes. It's weird. But everyone, of course, is allowed to enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. It's just, like, I feel that with some things, I'm very confused sometimes why people are so hyped about them. Oh, damn. That was a massive frame drop. It actually distracted me and made me get hit. So at the moment, I'm debating if I should continue or not, because it's not getting better. The frames are continuing to drop at a pretty frequent pace. The main thing that I'm getting from this is if I want to stream during the holidays, I need to be doing it earlier and earlier. Like, I should probably be starting, like, at 2 p.m. PST or something. Maybe even earlier than that. Especially if I want to go longer. Because, it seems pretty consistent around, like, 6:30-ish to 7 p.m.-ish. Around that time frame. It's when I drop all the frames. And when it gets kind of impossible to stream. We'll see. It's sort of in and out right now, but it's not amazing. Okay, so this guy's kind of tricky. You gotta, like, do a thing here. Can I do this thing? Nope. I don't need to get this, but I want to. It's like, you gotta line it up, like... No, I think we gotta use Dixie. You gotta, like, throw it a certain way. Yeah, we almost had it. Almost had it. Nope. The issue is that you get it with the wrong waterfall. You gotta get it, like, here. No, 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 no. Not there. Why do you gotta be so specific? No. Man, normally this doesn't give me this much trouble. There, we'll do that. There. Just for funsies. Just for funsies. Oh yeah, you can do that too. Fuck. I did it the hard way. That was dumb. There was a much better way that I didn't use. Hmm. Should I keep going? I don't know. The internet's really shitting itself pretty hard. Let me see. It's maybe the cutoff point. Let me check something here. Let me check things. Tell you what. My internet is shitting itself hard because of the holidays. So I'm gonna just do a quick raid here. Feel free to join me in the raid. We are raiding Digital Basic. Thank you for watching, though. I also forgot to record my VOD from here. Fuck. Well, not like much was actually missed, but still. I hate it when I forget stuff like that. Really? I guess Dixie is kind of the one you want to use here, but I don't have her, so I guess I gotta do it this way. Okay. Not that it really matters to get 100% anyway. I'm saving that for the GBA versions. Tracker Barrel Trek. The names in these are always amusing. Man, I love this track. It's debatable, of course, because there's always good competition, but this might be my favorite track of this game. It's a very good one. It's a good sound, too. Good death sound. Alright. I remember how this goes, I think. Yeah, the one movie though I do wanna watch before it fully expires is Tokyo Godfathers. I've seen it a few times over the years. But it's been at least a couple years since I've seen it, and I would like to try and watch it this year. It's a good one. I always recommend it. It's directed by Satoshi Kon. Okay. I think there's a decent amount of bonuses in this level, but I'm not going to bother with most of them, I think, because I recall a fair number of these actually being pretty tough to get. Now, I think there's, like, one here. Yeah, and you gotta, like, do this. Bash the baddies. How do I bash them? Do I hit them like this? I guess I do. Oh, there's a troll at the end. Well, that's unfair. They got me good on that one. I guess I won't bother then. Ain't got time for that. We'll save all the frustration and pain for the GBA version. I should actually look to see if there's any hacks for that yet. Because if the hacks are good, I might consider using them. Although they might not work with the Mister. Not all that stuff actually does. Yeah, this part's always hard. Controlling Ellie with his giant, I don't know. Giant hitbox on this animal. Not always the most easiest thing to wield. Alright, got ourselves. I guess I could probably use the water too. You get this cool animation, right? You don't always get to see that, the front animation, but I think that's a nice detail. This one's like a pretty mean one, actually. You only get like one attempt at this. But I guess it's a pretty easy attempt in all fairness. A whole 6 of them so far. I wonder if they still call them hero coins in this game, or if they call them DK coins. I guess I would have, damn it. I guess I would have had to look at the manual. I almost died there. I actually still have all the boxes and manuals and stuff for the GBA versions of 2 and 3, but unfortunately missing the games, which is very sad. I just can't find the carts anywhere. Feels impossible. So this level can be a little intense. There's a few parts of this level that can be a little annoying because you've got this really angry fish that needs to be fed at all times and doesn't like these things. So you can't feed them that. Otherwise, bad things happen to you. It gets more angry and pissed off. But it'll do stuff like that, where it'll try to eat the other thing if you, like, move, because it always follows you from behind. So if you switch to move the other way, then you can accidentally get it to eat one of those things that you don't want it to eat. And of course, if you get it pissed off enough, it's going to bite you instead. It'll eat you. So that's the whole gimmick here. It can be a bit of a tough level at times. You also got like a bit of a time limit, right? So it gets more hungry and angry the longer that you don't feed it something. Ew, that was close. Alright, got a checkpoint barrel. Nice, nice. This music track's also quite excellent. I like it a lot. I think, though, that it's, I'm not sure, like, it's really good, but it is just a remix of Aquatic Ambiance, so it's not like it's a new track or anything in that sense. It's just a nice take on it. Oh, fuck off. Too many fish, too many fish. Too many fish as I complain as I'm underwater. Should be getting close towards the end of the level, though. Eat something. Eat something, you dumbass. Go eat that. Are you unable to eat fish? Come on, do it. This is supposed to be your job. There. That should be good enough. There's like a lot of secrets in this level, by the way, but I ain't gonna bother in this run. Oh, stressful level. Stressful level. Anyway, there's like a really easy coin here. Just out of reach. The old classic Mario World will love to do that. There are a few times that, I mean, I guess all the Mario games do that, huh? Even like Mario Brothers 1. Someday I gotta play a lot of the Marios. I haven't really done too much of that on stream, at least not for a really long time. The only one I really played on stream, like, maybe once or twice was Mario World. I don't think I did, like, an all exits or anything like that, though. So, we got ourselves a boss. This is a really weird fucking boss. Like, this is such a strange-looking boss. I'm not even exactly sure what this boss is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be anything, I'm not sure. Oh, I already fucked it. Oh, I guess I didn't fuck it then. This is a boss of patience to some extent. It's overall, I would say, a pretty easy boss once you understand what it's doing. But if you struggle with speedy platforming, then it might be too much for you to handle. Alright, that was easy. It's even easier than I remembered it being. I guess also, like, knowing how to shoot it, too, like, is another part that's tricky, because you've got, like, it'll block the other eye unless you understand that you can shoot at an angle. Okay, so now we're doing Mechanos. This is a pretty cool world. I like this one quite a bit. Can be quite challenging, too. You got this mechanic that gets used a lot. A lot of these, though, you can just speed run and rush through, and it actually can help you, usually. A few times it backfires, I think, but it's actually pretty good to just rush through. I think that's true of a lot of old school, like, 2D platformers. If you just rush through, you actually usually end up having an easier time. I think that the issue, though, like with a lot of things, is you have to have that memorization to some extent, right? Or at least really intuitive, quick reaction times, which not everybody has, obviously. But in a lot of cases, legitimately just holding the one direction is actually better than, like, hesitating. Oh, yeah, I forgot that was there. I think this is actually might be the wrong way, but it get a bonus, I guess. Oh, yeah. This is where we get our squitter. Nice, that was the easy one. I always like how they run in place in these bonuses. Whenever you clear them. So it's always a good time. Oh yeah, this bit. This bit can be a little tough if you don't know the rhythm. Gotta get into the rhythm, gotta get into the groove. No barrel for a while, huh? Oh. How'd that happen? That was rough. I, like, didn't jump or something? It was weird. I guess I was a little too, I don't know. Something glitched there in my brain. Okay, so where are we going? I guess we're just doing this again. I don't know why we're doing this again. I guess I keep going left and I don't need to be. It's some other direction. I get confused. I guess it was to the right. Either way, this bonus, we're doing it again, I guess. Alright. Yeah, bonus. We did it again. Isn't that exciting? This is the direction, I guess. I mean, if I have to do this again, we see what I did wrong. I was like, oh yeah, so it's, I think at the end you go to the right. There's like a banana trail, I guess, that you could see that tells you that. Fair enough. Maybe someday I'll get good at these games too, or at least better at them. I mean, I guess I'm above average, but I'm definitely not nearly on the skill level as I am with some of these. Like, the first game, I'm just like, I'm good at. I'm actually quite good at it, but these other two, I'm definitely lacking a bit. Maybe someday I need to really put some more time into these ones and grind them out a little, maybe. I don't know if that's necessary, but it might be. It might be fun to do someday. Oh, man, I got an itchy neck. Oh, there we go. Oh, not bad. That was pretty good. And I screw it up here, of course. Oh, sorry about that. I was hitting things. I got this giant water bottle, and I have to, like, where I have to place it is kind of annoying. So it ends up being close to a bunch of other stuff, and sometimes I hit it. Like, my stream deck is right next to it. I think there's got to be, like, I'd have to look, like, think about things more, but there's got to be a better way to lay out some stuff on my desk. It feels like things could be better in some way, but I'm not sure how. Might have to think about it. It feels like, I don't know, like my older setup, it felt like I was making better use of this space on that older setup. And this, like I say new, but I've had it for a bit over a year now. But like this new desk and stuff and setup, it feels like even though I technically have more space, it feels like I have less of it. And that's kind of weird to me. And I'm not really sure why that is. Something to think about, I suppose. Maybe there's some way to optimize. Well, that's a hard bonus, because you have to be really precise. That one kind of sucks. And I think you only get one shot at that because it's an auto-scroll level, so you don't really have any, like, downtime, right? So it's kind of... that makes it extra hard. I also noticed that this particular level doesn't exactly scroll the smoothest. Maybe it's something to do with my monitor or something like that, because I think the MR settings are about as good as they can get. But I'm just noticing that there's like some weird, maybe micro stutter. I'm not sure what I would call it. It could just be the fact that this is at 60 FPS and I have a 144 hertz monitor. That could be why. It could just be something related to that. It's not anything that I can change or fix. It could just simply be also that the game runs at 60 and that level scrolls and moves so fast that even for 60, it can't really keep up with the smoothness entirely. Could be. Could be that. All right, so we got ourselves another tree level. Haven't had one of these in a little bit. Nice auto-scroll tree level at that. 2 auto-scrolls back to back. Isn't that ambitious? Not many games will do that. Not many games will throw 2 of them in a row at you. The other one was straight to the right. This one's just going up. This fun fact about this level actually is you can just, if you like are really insane and you speedrun this, you can just go way ahead of the auto scroll and like I think even complete the level. So you can just go way like off screen and you can still do stuff. It's pretty wild though. It's essentially like you're playing blind. It's a little bit of a tough one. Man, it's gonna be quite something, I bet. It's gonna be quite something when I do the GBA versions because I'm just thinking of all the stuff I'm not getting and how hard or annoying some of the things are to get in these games. Particularly this one. There are some fairly understandable, legit criticisms that this game has in regards to collectibles. Some people think this game's too loaded with stuff and collectibles, and it's a little overwhelming. Oh, I'm going too slow here. I'm almost getting sawed. There, we've recovered. I like the music quite a lot in this stage too. This game, despite David Wise not having like much or anything to do with its music, still really turned out really well. It's because the game's got some good vibes. It's different, is what I would say. A lot of it's different. There's a few that sound sort of David Wise-y, and maybe those were ones he had a little bit of something to do with, but a lot of this game's got its own kind of thing going on with the music that I quite appreciate. Oh, wrong way. Gotta go with save here. I gotta play some more Mario 64. Make games about knitting? I don't know, Wrinkly. I don't know about that. Goodbye kiss? Nah, no goodbye kiss. Leave immediately. Blazing bazookas. I wonder what a blazing bazooka would be like in real life. I think this is like a bonus or something. No, just a Kong barrel? Alright. That was close. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of stuff here. That's fine. That's fine. The goal is to just finish this game today. At least, possibly. Oh, now I gotta wait for the web to go down. I'm stuck. Help me, spider bro. I'm stuck. What's over here? Is this like another secret? I think it is. One that you need Squitter for? Or was that just barrel just send you here anyway? I see stuff up here. Now it makes it steel. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's how you get that coin. Nice. Oh, you can just shoot it. I actually forgot about that. So we can just make that normal. Probably should start up here. It's safer. Because you can still get hit by those barrels, even if they're not explosive. You know what's one thing I've thought about that someday I gotta stream? I gotta stream, like, all the childhood games that I was given to around Christmas. Or just gifts in general, sometimes birthday stuff. I gotta stream some of those. Not necessarily, like, make it a series or anything specifically, just like... Oh, really? I timed that poorly, I guess. But, like, there are some games that I've been gifted that are just absolute trash. They're so bad. And they would make for really good stream content. Oh, that was close. This part here is a little intense because I don't have Kong. Oh, good. We made it. First try, baby. This level can be a lot tougher than it looks. A lot tougher than it looks. Ah, our first pipe level. Not many of these. I think there's maybe 2 of these only. Might just be the 2 of these. Maybe a third? Maybe. Maybe there are 3. There's one with Squawks, right? Unless Squawks is in this one. Squawks might be like an animal buddy you get in this. It's a fun concept, though. A low-gravity platforming section. I can't think of many 2D platformers that have tried this. I know, like, FPS have tried it quite a bit. It was a pretty popular meme thing in Unreal Tournament servers and Quake stuff and all that, to have, like, a low-gravity thing going on. I remember some good memories, some good times with that. Low-grav servers and stuff, and all the gimmicks with that. You could do some pretty fun stuff. Oops. Like the rocket jumps and things like that, and them being so much more ridiculous. Oh yeah, this is where you get Squawks. Or no, that's the bonus barrel. No, here it is, right here. I guess that's one way to get the bonus barrel, though. It's just with Squawks. I wonder if they let you do that. Is that the intention? Probably no other way to get it. Yeah, I guess it's, like, intended then. I wonder if this is possible. The, like, 80 stars. Like, is this, like, are you supposed to try and collect all these? Because you don't get a lot of time. I guess you are, okay. Because some of these collect the all-stars thing, they don't actually want you to get everything. They just want you to get, like, a minimum. But I guess that one's, yeah, just all of them. This version of Squawks is a kind of an intriguing one because the only thing this Squawks does is you pick up barrels and then you drop them. It's certainly an idea. Otherwise, this Squawks is pretty slow compared to his counterpart in 2. Really? That counted as a hit? Okay. I guess these barrels don't respawn either. I see. Oh god. That's too close. I have some vague recollection of struggling on this level as a kid. It's always possible I'll die here too, so... you never know. Right, this part. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, you can't get that. You can't hit it. Sometimes you can angle it, but he's too low. It's even over here. Well, that's just where it became, isn't it? Or am I thinking of something else? No, I'm thinking of something else. This is just another bonus. Oh, now we have a normal Squawks. I see. Squawks within Squawks. What happens when a Squawks turns into another Squawks? Does the other Squawk go away? Oh, I'm supposed to kill these, right? This is the one that shoots. I already fucked this up then, I think. Because I already skipped all these dudes. Shit. I wasn't thinking. I won't have enough time now. Oh, well. Because this Squawks is really slow. Like, you ever notice that? How, like, they nerfed the hell out of Squawks? Oh, I did have enough time. Damn, that's generous. That is, like, giga generous. I wasn't really expecting that. Okay. Let's get this one. Do it for the precious lives. Come to think of it, maybe it did save my lives. I have over 20 of them, and I still have coins and stuff. Unless I really did collect just that many. But I don't think I did. Oh, shit. Man, that was close. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, I definitely forgot how bad the iteration of Squawks can be in this third game. Especially this version. Just excruciatingly slow. Excruciatingly slow. Very much not nearly as fun to use. I remember in the first game, Squawks was only in literally one level, and all he did was provide light. And it wasn't even light that you needed, technically, especially if you had a good enough display or more modern display. You didn't really even need the light to complete the level. Fuck, I wasted that barrel. Oh well. Didn't look like I needed it anyway. Music is quite intense here. I guess we have ourselves another secret there. Not really gonna worry about it. Just want to complete the level. Really? I missed? At least these respawn. Oh, double kill. Nice. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, okay. So we just wrapped around? There's like, what, 2 places where you can lose squawks? That's kind of weird. Whatever, I guess. So, where to now? Do I go back up here? Is this like a different route? I'm confused. What the hell? Where's the exit? Was it over here? Huh. Weird. I didn't remember the level being like that. Weird level. That is strange. Quite a lot of secrets in that level, really. Okay, so I guess this is, yeah, this is the boss. Okay. And we're blazing through. We're blazing through. Should be no problem. I should be able to wrap this up. Bzz, click Kong's enemy. You must be destroyed. Oh, I think I'm fucking this up. Move. There we go. Oh, I'm being stupid. This is not even a hard boss. I don't know why I'm being stupid. I shouldn't be. Already off to a bad start. Might end up having to retry. Not bad, not bad. Oh yeah, but this is the tougher part, right? Oh, that was almost a mistake. Oh, I fucked it up. Well, I guess they gave me a little more chances than I thought. Sort of, but this is the tough part. This part with the lasers. Jesus. Okay. Kinda gotta lead them. You gotta wait a little, and then you lead them a bit. Oh. Yeah. Did that count? Did that count? Did that not count? That was weird. Why didn't it count? I like hit it, but it didn't hit it. It was weird. Okay. That's it? Okay. So yeah, it's like a sequel, but it's like a boss that has a sequel. It's weird. It's like the only time they kind of do that. Had a sloppy start there, but managed to do okay. All right, so that's all done. So now we just go back. We go back to Funky's, I think. Get ourselves the upgrade. Make the ultimate ride. Yeah? Doesn't let you skip the text here, so... You just gotta patiently wait. It's funny that they let you select which one, too. Like, you can select the shittier ones. I'm not sure why they actually let you do that. There's no real reason to use the worst ones. I guess it's kind of cool that they let you, but it implies that you're missing something or whatever. But you're not, really. But yeah, there's like other secrets here, like you can find this and stuff, but we're not doing any of that. You can also go up here. Same idea, another one of these. A little bit of fun, extra world exploration. Exploration, yes, that's it. Those are words. You can also unlock the Lost World if you just keep going in a circle like this. It's kind of awkward. You gotta go like clockwise, I believe. Or something like that. The only way that you'd know how to do this, I think, is you look for a hint or you get a strategy guide. It was something dumb like that, I think. You have to be kind of... Yeah, there you go. And that unlocks that. But you have to have the coins, so it's still the same idea. It's still the same idea. Like, it's still the same idea where you have to have enough of the bonus coins and stuff to, Cremato or whatever, yeah. So you still have to collect them. And you gotta talk to the bomb shelter dude, and... There's, like, a code that just gives them to you. So yeah, it drains a bunch of them. I only even... like, for all the stuff I've gotten so far, I only had enough for one. So only, like, one level unlocked. And then it just blows it up, and you get yourselves a level. But again, we're not doing it this playthrough. We're waiting. We're waiting to the GBA one. Now, K3, here we go, baby. I believe it's the second last world, not counting the lost world, of course. Which they call Crematos or whatever, I don't care. It's the lost world, we know it is. This is a super cool level with another really strong contender for the best music of this game. It's really quite excellent. I love the vibes of this level type. This is for the level type, this is probably my favorite. Definitely my favorite type of level this game has to offer, I would think. Really, really good aesthetics. Oh, that was sloppy. Sloppy. That just brings us back here and gives us an extra life. And the music just fits ridiculously well, which really, like, helps enhance these levels. It's just, I don't know how, like, she did it, but, like, it was really impressive. But yeah, from the looks of it, I'm probably pretty well on pace for getting this done pretty quick, like getting the game done pretty quick, unless I get really, really stuck on a certain area or something or whatever. I should be able to wrap this up pretty well. Like, my estimate is I'll be able to stream for like 2.5 hours or so, kind of like last time. So, oh, fuck. So I figured that that's more than enough time to finish the game, and I might have time to spare. So what I might just move on to Donkey Kong Land 2 after this. Continue the franchise playthrough. That's close. Whoa, that was close. You can, like, bait these guys, as you've kind of noticed I've been doing, just baiting them. It's part of the mechanics here. I recall when I was younger, it took me quite a bit to pick up on that and figure out that's what you're supposed to do. You can also do some other fun stuff. I'm not sure if it's advised, but you can, like, do it. Or you can just, like, drop down. I could show. It's like, you just, like... If I get them in the right position for it. You just, like, go like that. You can do that, too, as, like, skips to go through the level faster. It's really tricky, though. You gotta really know what you're doing. Alright, so we got ourselves yet another auto-scroll. It's actually quite surprising how many auto-scrollers there are. That was on accident, but that worked out. It's quite surprising how many auto-scrollers there are in this entry. Oh, I gotta switch. I'm already fucking this up. I think I'll have... Oh, jeez. I think I'll have enough time. Yeah, they're pretty generous. Yeah, it's just like another, like, auto-scroller that I think moves too fast. And it's like too fast for the frame rate. So you can just pick up on... You can just pick up on it not having, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, words are hard. Words are hard today. You can kind of pick up on the fact that it's running at 60 because it's going too fast even for its frame rate is kind of what I'm meaning to say. I'm not sure how well represented that is on the viewer end. I'm sure it probably depends on the person's monitor and their ability to perceive frame rate, but unfortunately, my eyes have been spoiled and I've seen the truth. I've had a lot of, like, experience with audio video stuff, like, very nerdy stuff, so I tend to be pretty experienced when it comes to knowing what to look for in certain things. Oh, well, fuck. I lost Kitty at the very, very end. Whatever. I know there's a coin back over there, but I don't care. The bird can die instead. That was a really quick level. Wow. Another one of these nice, lovely levels. Okay, so this level... this level's got problems. I like it, but it's stupid. It's a stupid level, like, to be honest. Because the way that the barrels work is really dumb. The barrels do not work well. They have weird hitboxes. And you have to do some silly stuff sometimes to, like, be able to get up in, like, a couple sections. There's one section in particular towards the end of this level that is really, really hard to reach. Because you can just get stuck in a bad loop of barrels. And you have to, like, I think reset it or something to make it not stupid. It's kind of frustrating. Like, this one is kind of stupid, too. Yeah. This one's kind of dumb. I actually might have an easier time doing this with Kitty, because I think he might have a bit of a better reach on his roll jump. Maybe. Maybe not. But yeah, I think this is like a bad loop or something. You have to be very specific on what you do here, and it's kind of frustrating. Ugh, see what I mean? See what I mean? Like, the hitboxes are not good. They aren't really generous at all with what counts as being on top of the barrel. It's quite annoying. You end up having to, like, do this really annoying, like, you have to kind of, yeah. You have to do it like this. It's kind of silly. There we go. They don't make that clear as well, so a new player would probably giga struggle on that part. On what you actually have to do to progress, because it feels like it's impossible. Like, for a newer player to try and do that, I feel sorry for them. Because they would probably be stuck in that part for quite a while. We're not going to be able to keep this bird alive the entire way. There's no fucking way. Oh my god, I almost fell. I like to try sometimes, but it's not easy. Oh my god, dude. Okay, let's switch over. Actually, let's just do this. Fuck that. Let's just throw up. Why are we even trying that? What? Why are we... Okay. Apparently, this is going to be one of those levels where I have a hard time. Let's just do it this way. This is so much easier. Oh, don't fall here, man. That's a bad spot to fall. Let's just do this again. Perfect. We actually brought it all the way. Oh, good for me. Look at the old G. Nice. Yeah, it could have gone worse with that level. I've fallen quite far before and ended up having to backtrack a lot. A lot of coins there. Not that I really use them, but the coins don't feel like they have as much use as they do in other, like in the second game, rather. Right, so we got ourselves a fun mechanic here. We got ourselves a sniper. Yeah, it's neat. Adds extra intensity. This part can be a little mean. There we go. You need to get these shields as well, which help a little, I guess. You don't really need them because you can bait this guy pretty well like that. This part is hard. It's really easy to get hit here. Oh boy, is it easy ever. Easy as ever. Getting this O is also a pain in the ass. We're not even gonna try. Alright. I'm not sure if this is all entirely safe or not, but I ain't gonna risk it. It isn't. Okay, I made the right call. I would say that for the most part, though, if you know what you're doing in this level, you can mostly just ignore the guy shooting at you. He's more of a distraction than anything else. Like, the overwhelming majority of the time, his crosshair doesn't really matter because you're going to be moving at a fast enough rate that it's rarely ever going to be able to hit you. Once again, it's kind of that whole design philosophy that all these old school 2D platformers have in common, where it's all about how much you're hesitating in your movement. If you're moving quickly and you're going at a good pace, you're not gonna like have too many problems. The always keep moving strat is a very sound one. I've kind of had thoughts, to be honest, about making like full-fledged YouTube videos talking about various things with these games and kind of like beating them and stuff. It's sort of like similar-ish, but maybe not quite the same. I don't know. Like, you know, there's that pretty popular YouTube channel called like You Can Beat Video Games. I've kind of thought about maybe dipping my toes in there and making something sort of like that, because I do know that the person who makes those videos doesn't make them very often, and there's a ton of games that they don't cover or may never cover. They tend to be pretty specific on their coverage. Also, we got penguins, yay. So I have considered maybe... Oh, damn. I've considered maybe dipping my toes into some type of content like that. There's potential there. Definitely some potential. And it wouldn't be too unusual or outside of my realm to make something like that, since pretty much the genesis of my content creation on the internet was me... Oh, God. Okay, this is actually a pain in the ass. This is really tough loop. This is a really fucking hard loop. That actually might be easier with Kitty, because you could, like, throw yourself over. Kind of better to have both Kongs there, I think. But yeah, my genesis of content creation was, like, basically making walkthroughs for games and stuff. So it wouldn't be too outside my realm if I returned to those roots a bit, perhaps. Let's switch to Kitty, actually. And maybe consider making something like that and have, like, the, to an extent, you know, I could also have the streams kind of be a bit of an extension towards that type of content. Because I can play some of the games that I would be making a video about. So there's like, you know, some things that I could do with that might be productive. Could be fun. May go somewhere, may not. But it's definitely something that kind of interests me as an idea that I could pursue perhaps in the new year. And I also, I think I would have things to contribute towards that. There's definitely, like, games that I know really well that I would be able to really give solid information on that not everybody would just immediately readily have access to. That would really help some players. And even then, I know that there's a lot of people who watch. This part is really hard. And even though I know there's a lot of people who watch stuff like that channel, like You Can Beat Video Games, that don't actually play the games or are looking for help. Some of them just like the way that it's formatted to be an overall playthrough type thing. I know that a lot of people, there's one other YouTube channel I've been watching more recently that I've known about for like a year or two, called Civvy 11 or whatever, or Civvy 111 or whatever. It's like, it's got a weird spelling, but it's like basically everyone just calls him Civvy. And reminds me a bit of how with his videos, they're kind of sort of similar to You Can Beat Video Games content as well, but it's not as informative entirely. There's some stuff that's informative about them. Oh, I fucked up. That's a very tight window for that. You gotta really pay attention. Really specific hitbox in that too. Wow. This boss can be quite the doozy. It's a really long boss. It's like a ridiculously long boss fight, especially if you don't get it the first like you don't get him early on his stuff. It kind of is one of these bosses where he just keeps going, like you think he's done, and he just keeps doing it, like, see? Alright, got him first try. Alright, good. I'm glad that I got him first try. I mean, I kind of missed a couple of them, so it took longer, but it's like a stupid long boss. I'm glad that I got that first go, because that dude kind of sucks. Alright, Razor Ridge. Getting there, we're getting there. I guess I forgot about this world for some reason, but yeah, we're still got a little ways to go. I think this one's the actual second to last world. Again, excluding the true final world, which is the one that you have to get 100% for. So this Squawks is a bit faster, thankfully. It's kind of odd when you think about it. I guess the low gravity must affect, like, the speed of Squawks, and they were going at that angle, because this Squawks is actually pretty fast, so I guess they didn't nerf him entirely, just only in certain levels. Oh, this is just optional. Yeah, I think that there's potential with that type of content. I think, you know, talking about it on stream here, I think that might actually legitimately be a pretty good idea and something worth pursuing. Because there's definitely some games that I wouldn't mind trying that out with, especially games that I'm more extra knowledgeable in. Like this series, for example, I'm pretty knowledgeable in, but particularly for the first entry. And in general, I consider myself to have a pretty good knowledge base on just 2D platformers in general. Of course, I think there's opportunity to expand that further, because there's definitely some blind spots that I have for sure that I need to correct. But that's part of what makes streaming retro games to be particularly fun, is that I have a lot of opportunities to play games that I wouldn't necessarily always normally play on my own. So I think that's always good. I'm going backwards, aren't I? Yeah, we're going down this way. To the left, I guess? Oh, jeez. There's also other stuff I could talk about, too, that might be worth potential content or consideration. Like short little reviews on some hardware as well, maybe. Something to think about in the future. Okay. Like, I have quite a lot of controllers, for example, and talking about some of the controller stuff might be fun. Might be a fun thing to make a video about. The thing about YouTube, though, is I am... Oh, really? Really? I hate it when shit like that happens in this game. Things about YouTube, though, that I tend to have a lot of negative thoughts on YouTube as a whole, because I've had some ups and downs with YouTube. Is there really no barrel that whole time? Wow. That's kind of insane. Either I missed the barrel or I don't know, man. That's kind of fucked up. It's a long time to go without a barrel. Although I guess technically speaking, it feels longer than it is because I had a giant bonus that I had to do. That probably contributed to the feeling of it being longer than it actually was. Oh man, that barrel's going slow. Alright, so we already caught up to where we were. I guess the bonus made it feel like it was longer than it actually was. Alright, there it is right there. We were quite close to it, in fact. Alright, so there's obviously secrets up there. This is a pretty mean level, honestly. There's another level later on that's maybe in the Lost World that is very similar to this. And it's even worse somehow. I'm making this look a lot easier than it actually is. Because you can also lose your barrel on these copter dudes, right? Or like the red zinger, the buzzers rather. Zingers are a victim of genocide. And it's pretty insane what you have to do there. That guy almost got me, actually. That was quite close. This level's pretty fun. It's a little fucked up, but it's pretty fun. Way harder than it needs to be. Also, Ong. Praise the mighty Ong. Oh, God. Ah. Ah. Damn things. Stay put. There. Having a good D-pad for this level is pretty fucking important, I'll tell you that. If I had a bad D-pad for that, that would have been awful. That's one thing I think as well, that's a pretty important thing to communicate to people, especially people who struggle on these games, is having a quality D-pad makes a gigantic difference. Alright. Yeah, on pretty great pace here. We're a bit over an hour in. And we're doing well. We're doing well. Not really getting stuck too much or anything. I swear these dudes are just straight up ripped, or like a prototype for Banjo-Kazooie. I guess consider them more like a prototype for Banjo-Kazooie. Or like his brothers, kind of, sort of, or his cousins, I don't know. Some relation in the family. Alright, we got another awesome level here. This is an auto-scroller. A pretty neat one. It can be a little brutal and, you know, a bit long because it's kind of the nature of most auto-scrollers. But this is cool. It's got the nice aesthetic. Concept is fun. Longest rope ever. I was just thinking how these games look so much better on a CRT. It's definitely one of those types of games with all the pre-rendered stuff that just looks better on CRT. It's kind of like a consistent thing with all pre-rendered games. I fucked up. I should have waited. Now the game, yeah, see, that's one flaw of this level. is if you get hit in certain parts, the rope stops moving. I don't know why they decided that the rope should stop moving, but whoever decided that that should be in the game, they're pretty evil, because it can definitely just completely fuck. It completely fucks you up in like several parts of the level. We're already off to a pretty bad start in this level, to be honest. I might actually end up having a bit of a struggle in this. So we're not doing well if we're getting hit this early. There are like some Kong barrels that you can find if you're quick, and they're like on the sides and stuff, but it's tough, and I don't know if I remember exactly where they all are. Like, there's stuff over here you can go to, like a bonus. It's always like stuff on the side, little secrets you can go quickly try and grab. That one's pretty easy. Now we're back on the rope. Oh, there's one over there. They want us to jump across. We got it. What is that even there for? I guess there must be like some secret stuff. Maybe some secret coins. But a lot of the coins are invisible, as you can tell. This game likes its invisible coins for some reason. They're a big fan of that. I think most, if not all, of the coins in 2 are just, like, visible. Alright. What? Why is that there? How are you supposed to get that? That's a troll. What the fuck? Like, how are you supposed to get that in? Am I missing something? That seems like it's suicide. It is a confusing one, because the levels are supposed to be designed in mind for you to always be able to get all the letters. So I'm actually a little confounded there. I won't really worry about the letters, though. Again, that's a future me problem. That's a problem for future me when I play GBA. Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, there must be something I'm missing there with that. There must be another rope or something further over to the left. There's probably stuff over to the left there, too. I don't care, though. Oh, God. They really fuck you up here, huh? Oh. Yeah, there's definitely some trolley placements here. Oh man, some of these are really cutting it close. Terrifying, truly. Cug. KG. Get me out of here. Alright, let's just leave. There's like a DK coin or whatever, but we don't care. It's fine. Good level, but terrifying. Alright, so now we got another fun one. Another dark underwater one. I believe, much like all of these, you can just, like, you know... You can just do this dark. You don't have to have light. It's just kind of fun. It's just a very cool, like, choral approach that they went with this. Very tropical. I really just like what they did with the underwater levels in the third one here. It's very pleasant. Oh, you got a little sound there. I forgot about that. That's cute. Nice little mystery sound when you poke that fish. You can kill these dudes, by the way, if you time it right. Not really worth it most of the time, but You can, if they're open. Like that. Yeah, that's harder, though. What I did there is really risky. But you can do it. And let's do a bonus. Why not? Let's do a bonus. Spice it up a bit. Make the playthrough a little longer. Oh, this. It's actually... Oops. Might be faster like that. Yeah, seems like it's more optimal to charge. Nice. Not too bad. Plenty of time to spare. It's a neat sound. I like that sound. It's very satisfying. I love the sounds that they came up with in these retro games. Ah, it was bad. I guess I got my barrel. So many good sounds in these games, man. So many. Ah, fuck. One thing you have to be really careful with On Guard is he will automatically attack stuff. So it can actually get you killed sometimes. Oof. Oh boy, this part. Oh, I messed it up. I was getting lucky last time. Now those things are actually being mean, and I kind of gotta... Oh, jeez. That was lucky. That was really lucky. That should have been a death. We're not gonna tempt fate here. We'll be patient. Okay. I suppose there's bananas underwater. I know that's such a basic question where it's like something you've probably heard of in a Let's Play, 10 years ago, as some random person talked about this. Probably a lot of the stuff that people say as observations of these games is probably something that people have been saying for ages and ages. There's nothing new under the sun, that old adage. Nice. Pothole Panic. I think this is an industry level. No, it's not. It's another one of these. Okay. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure what this one was going to be. Now I remember. This is an odd one because I'm not sure why they decided to do this. It's kind of neat, but I don't get it. Like, all the other times in all these games, you don't do this. But they decided to make your hitbox much larger in this level, and I'm not really sure why. It's a mystery. Fuck. Oh, dude. Okay. Your hitbox is just fucking gigantic. And there's all these other times you just don't have them. Like, they're just, you just play as squawks. You're just infused as squawks. It's only this, like, level and maybe a couple others that do it. It's super strange, man. Also, I don't know if there's ever been a case where you see them riding like this. Did they do it in 2 at all? I don't think they did. Maybe, no, not even Animal Antics, because in Animal Antics you were also just like the animal buddy. There wasn't any like riding involved. I know the first game you rode all of them, and you didn't like become the animals outside of the bonus stages, but they kind of dropped that in 2, and I guess they kind of brought it back just for this level maybe, and perhaps a couple others. It's kind of weird. Oh god. Okay, let's do that. Well, I guess with this format, you can actually afford to take multiple hits, right? It won't, like, instantly kill your Kong. Alright, dismount. How do we dismount there? Okay. Nice. Now we got my least favorite animal buddy probably in the franchise is Ellie. I don't like Ellie, and having replaying this game and using Ellie a bunch, I am still not a fan of this elephant at all. It's pretty bad. Terrible hitbox, too big, jumps weird. Just overall not a very fun one to use. Squitter, on the other hand, has always been pretty ultimate in my book. Really? Oh, damn it. Fuck. Oh man, this is getting dangerous. Cog. The almighty Cog again. Well, we managed to get through it pretty quick. Oh. That one's got a lot of secrets, that level. I definitely skipped a lot. Ropey Rumpus. Another one of these awesome levels again. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think that they were pretty proud of these levels because they sure used them a lot in this game. It was definitely a pretty heavily used level type. Really? That hit me? Okay. Oh, okay. So either that's just a trap to try and get you killed, and you get nothing for it but a banana bunch, or there's like a secret there. It's either one. Could go either way. Oh my god. Bad start, bad start. That kind of got me off screen there. At least you're getting our lives back, huh? I feel very comfortable about the life situation here, though. We're doing fine. Ugh. Okay, this is gonna be impossible now. Oh, I guess not. Oh, the same one got me again. I guess this is gonna be probably one of the levels I get stuck on for a while, so this will probably extend to the playtime a fair bit. This isn't going very well at all. Thankfully, I have a lot of lives. Yeah, that one's tricky because you can barely see it most of the time. That was really close. Ugh. Yeah, these beginning ones are actually pretty mean. Shit. Man. I gotta really pay attention here. Fuck. What is with that section? Why is it like that? It's so hard. Looks like it's safe here. Yeah. Alright, good. Good. Ooh, that was close. Well, that one's mean. Look how fast that is. Ooh. Okay. Tough level, but cool. Eee, that was close. Oh, man. Missed the O. Oh, well. Get it? Missed the O. Oh, well. Funny. Oh, we're in no way we're keeping this bird alive. This bird's gonna die. Oh, really? Somehow it managed. Okay. I'm shocked. Oh, this is a interesting way to do your bonus. Not sure I guess they give you quite a bit of time, so they kind of knew that it was bullshit. Still, you can easily screw this up. Oh, another one, really. Got lucky on a few of these. I think it's entirely random which side it's on. Alright. Definitely got a little lucky there. Very nice. And I guess it's straight to the boss. Yep. This boss is kind of a bit annoying. There are ways to kind of make it a bit easier, but it's oh god, I'm already off to a bad start. I'm doing stupid stuff. I gotta be a little more careful. Again, I gotta wait a bit. Yeah, I gotta do like stuff like that. Yeah, we're not doing well. This boss is kind of lame, to be honest. I kind of gotta remember exactly what the tricks are here with this one. This one gets weird. This one's weird. It's not exactly the most elegant of bosses. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, we got one of them. Not that time. Oh, that one got... Yeah, the hitboxes are terrible. This boss has ridiculously awful hitboxes, by the way. So it's a real shit show. We might die a handful of times. This is a pretty bad one. Certain phases are easier than others, I will say. The beginning phase here is probably the worst of it because I am not as well practiced. I need to scratch my nose. Oh, God. Okay, we didn't get any of them, or did we? Okay, there we go. Ugh, almost got hit there. Okay. I think this next bit is less stupid. Yeah, this is, like, easier. Ugh. It's easier once you get the rhythm of it. It's still stupid, but once you understand... Yeah, you gotta wait quite a long time for this. Okay. I think they changed this boss, or they reused this boss in the GBA version. Oh yeah, this bit. I think you have to wait. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah. It's this thing. Ah, fuck. I was a little too early. Yeah. I might not get this. Roll threes, I think? Yep. Alright. Wasn't too terrible. Just that early section is probably the hardest, because it's really hard to get those in the first phase to get it to actually hit right. Because again, janky hitboxes. I think they might have made the boss a bit more fair or easier in the GBA version. And then they remixed it, I think, for the secret extra world that they added. Alright, so we are truly at the end here. The final world, excluding the extra world we're not doing. Chaos Core. All the levels in this, as expected of a final world, are evil, and they're pretty fucked up, but they can be fun. But they're all kinds of different degrees of evil and messed up, so could be a fair number of deaths in some of these levels. A lot of trolls going on in this one. Even a bit of, like, random stuff, like RNG. Definitely some fun stuff here. We also got this level type that's used, like, a couple times. Mostly in the extra levels, though. It's kind of just a random new level type that they throw in. Oh, shit. Oh, already a checkpoint barrel. Either it's an early one or the level isn't that long. I'm not sure which it is. I guess we'll find out. Dixie definitely makes parts of this level a teensy bit easier. Oh, even got all the letters. Nice. Alright. We're not going to worry about the DK coin. Just go to the end. That was actually really smooth. I'm actually surprised how well I did there. Maybe I'm starting to... Maybe this is all just an hour-and-a-half warm-up period, and now I'm starting to get more in the groove. Or I'm going to regret that, and everything's going to go terrible now. Oh, God, this level. Yeah, this level might be a bad one for me. There's a lot of mean shit that happens in this one. It's one of these ones, this type of gimmick with the rapid changing barrels, and they troll you an awful lot. Oh, fuck. Sometimes the barrels are good, sometimes they're very bad. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, we're doing okay. This is going okay. I think this is a bonus or just extra secret stuffs. Oh, Squitter, I forgot about you. Yeah, you're good here. You'll make this a little easier. Yeah, see, that one's mean. That one's a mean one. Because it tricks you. It makes you think that the next one's going to be the right one, but it does it again, the wrong one. Pretty brutal stuff. Pretty brutal. They also troll you here, too, a lot. There's like a bonus or something up there. I'm not going to worry about it because we're not 100%ing. But they definitely troll you an awful lot here. Okay. Oh, you can't break those. Fuck. That's right. Oh. Fuck. Oh, dude. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, good. Alright, we got ourselves a coin we're not gonna bother getting. Shit. Man, oh man, that thing is fast. They give you like no time. Nope, that's not it. Shit. Jeez, dude. Ah, finally. Oh. Fuck. Damn it, dude. I was right at the fucking end. Ugh, like I said, this level's fucked up, man. This one's a mean one. I'm not even sure if I would call this a level I even like, to be quite honest. I kind of don't like this level. Shit. And now I'm getting impatient. And this is honestly a fucking long level, and it's another one of these types of levels that does the thing. It's one of these levels that does that thing where it gives you the checkpoint barrel way before the actual end of the level. So, like, they don't actually do it properly. They just kind of, the whole thing's just a troll. Shit. Well, this is going to be very intense and awful. Like, they pretend... Jeez. They pretend the level's over way before it actually is. Even this DK coin is, like, not placed in the exact correct spot. Like, it's, like, pretty well before the level's done. Oh, God. I don't know about this, Chief. Ugh. That was hard. 100%ing that's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be a tough one. Alright, so Lightning Lookout is another infamous level. This is an RNG level. The lightning randomly strikes. So you don't know what it's actually gonna do, ever. You just kind of have to look for the cues, and then just hope for the best. Also, if you're in the water, you get struck. So you're dealing with that too. It's a pretty mean level. It's a neat idea, but it's pretty fucked up. That was a close one. Sometimes you get a little lucky and it's a little easier. It depends though. Shit, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, that was close. You can also have those guys protect you a bit. Sometimes that's a little bit of a mechanic. Fuck. Oh, I was really close to getting hit. Lightning gets pretty insane in some of these sections. Oh, so chaotic. Jeez. Oh, great. Oh, great. Let's just go. No! Ah! Fuck you, game. Oh, that spot sucks. Okay. Try again. The barrels, honestly, are mostly trolls. Because they, the barrels are, like, slowing you down, and they fuck you up on your timing and trying to avoid everything else. Yeah, see, that part there, that was, like, luck-based. The game fucked me. I had no way to avoid that lightning strike. Sometimes the game is just like that on this level, and it's part of why people aren't the biggest fans of this level, to be honest. There's shit like that. Okay, this section again. Fuck you. Oh god. A little more generous that time. Oh, that wasn't. That was fucking dumb. It should have hit the buzzer, not me. Alright. Ugh. Stupid level. Neat concept, but yeah, just fucking RNG is always a shit tier thing in a platformer. Almost 50% progress, which is deceptive because this game has something dumb like 110% or something like that. So it's not 100%, it's not actually the full percentage. It's silly. The games have always been like that, though. Oh yeah, this level. This level is a bit of a doozy. This is a very, you really gotta understand the intricacies of what these guys are doing to really not screw it up. It's definitely that type of level where you really have to study what they're doing. Otherwise, they'll do that to you and fuck you up. Dixie makes this a little easier, too. So Kitty's not always the best approach for this level. Okay, we're not going to worry about collectibles. We're just going to go. Yeah, we made the same mistake twice. I think it's better to just stick with Dixie on this one. Kitty makes this way too hard. That's kind of the other common criticism that this game gets, which is a fair one, is that the dynamic of heavy Kong and then, like, Light Kong has always been a bad dynamic. It wasn't good in the first game either. The second game got it right where you had 2 Light Kongs. The balance of the Kongs was far superior in that. Because, like, Kitty just feels like, in a lot of cases, a pretty distinct disadvantage compared to using Dixie in most of the levels. But in this one, this level's a pretty big example of that, where Kitty has 0 advantages. Like, Dixie just makes this so much easier. Doing this as Kitty is a damn nightmare. Really? That wasn't fair. Well, I guess we're doing the nightmare portion then. Shit. Oh, okay. Sure, why not? Okay. This level's giving me more trouble than I thought it would. I think they do this gimmick again in the Lost World. I think these guys come back. Okay, we're gonna just do this slow. There. See how much easier that is? Shit. There's like a secret up there, I think, but I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, like Dixie's the way to go with that. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah. Poisonous pipeline. Okay. This level sucks ass. This is like a popular one for emulation. Or in some cases, people just straight up reverse their controller. Which is funny. But also in its own way could be very awkward. But yeah, it's for context, because I'm the only one playing this. And if you haven't done this before, every time you're inside of this purple water, this purple drink, the controls are reversed for like left and right. I think, yeah, like down and up are still the same, but left and right are reversed. Ow. So everything's harder because of that. It tries to fuck with your muscle memory a bunch. Yeah. Fuck you. And when you're out of the water, it's back to normal. So there's like weird shit like that going on. So it's one of these types of gimmicks. It's a pretty wretched gimmick. I feel like one of the issues that this game has in general, especially with some of its levels like this one, is they already came out with 2 games, right? And it felt like they were pressured to come up with new ideas for levels. So they kind of really stretched thin the ideas and came up with like some of the worst ones, you know? So there's definitely some fucking bad ones. This being probably the worst of them all. Okay. Oh, we got our checkpoint. That's what matters. Oh, it's close. I think On Guard might be available in part of this level. I'm not certain. I vaguely recall that being a thing. Yep, I was correct. I don't remember where you get him, though. Ah, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay. This part also sucks. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, that was so close. These clownfish can go to hell. Alright, we're just gonna push on through. Yeah, I knew that was the end, so I just took the hit. Ugh, wretched level, wretched level. I did pretty well, I think, all things considered. I did some pretty good movement tech as well. So this is the final boss, but also not really. It's kind of like two fake final bosses. It's kind of silly. Oh, really? We're off to a terrible start. Whatever. Oh, do we use this then? I don't recall that being a thing, but I guess it is for this. Alright, we'll probably end up failing this because I kind of forgot about this stupid gimmick. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of don't remember this boss too well. Jesus. Really aggressive asshole, huh? How do I stop him? Is he ever gonna quit doing that? It seems like it's infinite. Oh, I guess I gotta go to the other side. Okay. I see. So I guess that we're already done this phase then. Okay, we don't have to do this again, thankfully. King K. Rool was behind it all. Von King K. Rool. Scooby-Doo moment right there. All right, let's go, baby. We should probably wait. There we go. So this boss fight's kind of long. Right, we gotta go to the other side now. This is a pretty long fight, but that's to be expected. Final boss fights are often long, especially in a Rare game. Rare loves their long fights. Oh, right. I fucked this up already. I'm being stupid. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, now we're in this phase already. Yeah. So one disadvantage here is Dixie sucks for this boss. At least most of it. Oh, yeah. That was a terrible first attempt. That was a terrible first attempt. I might take a while on this boss because, one, it's super long, even if you know what you're doing. And two, I'm just, generally speaking, not very well practiced at fighting this guy. So this might take a hot minute. Unfortunately. But I'm kind of remembering all the little phases and things now. There's a lot of stupid stuff you have to do here. In fact, I should probably stick to Dixie for this bit just in case I lose her. The same strategy as last time with the throws. Oh, what even happened there? What did she do? It's like she did an extra throw? What the fuck was that? I'm confused. What the hell? Okay, well, anyway. Right, so you got the little platform. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. That was really fucking close. Okay. Yeah, this might take a handful of tries, because this is, not my best fight. And I definitely don't feel very confident. Oh. He's changing it. See, I don't even remember this shit. I remember this part being annoying as hell. Because of that. Yeah, already. The timing on it is really fucking annoying. And sometimes in this phase, his hitbox is shit anyway, so, like, it's pretty inconsistent trying to get his back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this dude's super fucking aggressive. Like, you really have to wait sometimes for him to turn. It's quite something. Alright, so he's gonna change it again, but I don't remember what he does. Oh, yeah, it's like this. I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. This is a boss. Jeez, almost got hit. It's very long, like I said, like this one is a girthy boss. Trying to keep my chill here. I'm starting to feel the stress here. Oh, fucked it. Starting to get a little stressed out. I need to relax. It's easy to screw up. Hell yeah. That actually went a lot better than I thought, considering I didn't have Dixie through almost that entire fight. Fuck yeah, dude. Good stuff. And we rescued Donkey Kong, who was in there for some reason. I'm not sure how that works. But that's the big twist. Oh, man. Fun game. I like it still. But definitely that last world is kind of like my least favorite because most of the levels just kind of have really bad gimmicks. But it's cool. I'm a lot more interested, to be honest, in playing the GBA version because that has the most effort put into it. A lot of new content. And entirely different soundtrack that's designed for the GBA sound chip. Alright, so we get ourselves straight to the credits. No extra cranky dialogue there. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back. I'm back. I guess I missed some of the precious names of some of the enemies. I think that the way that they did the credits here for the enemies is substantially less interesting. So I kind of felt like this bit was weak, a little phoned in, like the whole photo thing, full photo album thing, and just having them just do things in their own level was kind of just boring. This was kind of the much closer to the Mario World approach. I kind of much preferred when they did like the walk in the first two games, where they just like had the one stage and they just kind of ran through and they all did their cute little things. There's more effort put into that. This one's just kind of like, oh, here's this enemy and its environment just moving in one direction, and then we freeze frame and we take a photo. And then there's the name. It's like, that's kind of boring. Kind of dull. It's like, whatever, man. There's definitely a few things about the game that are a little, like, just feel a little more phoned in, a little more weak. Still overall very fun. It still sticks to the tried and true formula of the previous two games. But it definitely ain't better than the second game. The second game's the peak, and I think everybody agrees on that for the most part. Only the strange people. Only the strange people tend to say otherwise. But yeah, I guess, you know, as I expected, I have a fair bit of spare time here, so I can get started. And get started on the Donkey Kong Land games again. Get started in Donkey Kong Land 2. Like I said, we did play a bit out of order, out of release order, because we wanted to do this game for the holiday season. Booty Bird. That's such a sensual name, Booty Bird. Man, I want to be a booty bird. You don't see that dude in that level, unless that's the Lost World, you might. Aquatic Tackers. Yeah, this is like... Also, isn't this like way longer for the credits? Because they don't, like, they waste all the time on the freeze frames and all these transitions. So this is like twice as long as like the other games, I think. Pretty girthy enemy credits section here. Like, I could have taken a whole big shit while I was gone if I wanted to, and I still would have been in the credits. Nibbler. Bounty Bass. Or is it Bounty Base? You don't know. Some of the names for these are amusing to an extent. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be referencing something or if they just randomly chose a name and didn't have any deeper thought put into it. Gleam and Bream. The big time bad guys. The bosses have always been a pretty weak point in the franchise, to be honest, and... Oh man, that Belcha dude, he's gross. Also, he died in like 2 seconds. That boss is okay. That one's really easy, though, if you know what you're doing. There's, like, a certain spot you can stand in. Squirt's also, like, pretty trivial if you're just okay at the platforming bit and understand that you can shoot, like, in a direction. That dude's kind of a little more involved, a bit harder. This guy kind of sucks. I'm glad that I got Bleak at the first go. That dude, I don't like Barbos. Barbos sucks. Of course, Von K. Rule. K. Rulenstein, I don't know. They'll say his name. He changed his name between games. Good for him. We respect his new identity. Baron K. Rulenstein. You suck. I don't like you. You're boring. You have a terrible hitbox. You jump weird. I don't like you. You're awesome though. You're consistently one of the best. Squidder's really kind of the best of us when you think about it. That thing exists, I guess. It doesn't help you that much, strictly speaking. Its name's Parry. Parry's weird because Parry makes me think of like parrying in Dark Souls. Makes me think of that. On Guard's the OG. Always a classic. Always been good. Consistently might be the best in the game because he's in all three quite prominently. Squawks is cool in some of his variants, but boy, that like low G variant really blows. Squawks is technically like 3 or 4 different animal buddies in this game. They really overuse Squawks a bit. And there's like these guys, which we basically ignored because they're part of the 100% requirement. You have to like do a thing where you talk to them, get an item, then you talk to the other dude to get another item, and you just continue doing that throughout the game. And it's like, maybe it's a certain order you have to do it as well. I'm not exactly sure, it's been a bit. I'll most likely have to use a guide for these games to 100% them. Otherwise, it'll take 500 years to find everything. And some of the challenges are hard enough as it is, that you don't, even if you have a guide, you still have to execute anyway. Boomer. A guy named Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Remember that song? Remember that random girl who got popular from the song? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's Funky, yeah. Funky took up boating. The flights were no longer cool. Now it was Funky's boats. And there's this guy, which we did his minigame like once. Honestly, it's not really worth the trouble as far as I could tell. And I don't even think you need to do it for 100%. It's just kind of there. Maybe the GBA one you do. And there's Wrinkly herself helping us with saving. She's retired, I guess. She's no longer a teacher. Cranky kind of has the least prominence in this one. He's like barely in it. And also he's like oddly friendly in this entry, and I don't know why. I kind of don't like it. Also, Wretched Kitty Kong himself, known for his war crimes. Terrible, terrible creature. Dixie's cool though. We all like Dixie. That's some pro skill there. Look at that tech. They're like showing off. They're like saying, look at that shit you can do. You can't do that though. You can't land on your butt. Ah, those Kongs. Oh, the things that they get up to. Man, those credits take 500 years, don't they? Wow, it's like, what, fucking like 10 minutes of credit? And then we got even more credit after this. Oh, boy. You can't skip this, by the way. Woof. These are, like, really long. Oh, man. A lot longer than I remembered they were. I'm just sitting here like a jerk, doing nothing, because this takes too long. I guess it's a way to get a break, I suppose. Kind of gives me a little bit of a brief rest between intense gaming sessions, because I have a feeling that Donkey Kong Land 2 is going to kick my ass. I'm very interested in it, though. So yeah, David Wise did work on this, okay. He did, like, additional music, but not, like, all of it. I'm going to assume he did, like, this music, because it's basically just lifted straight from the second game. So there's a few of them that definitely sound like his work, but most of it was done by the other lady. Man, I've got like a hair or something like near my eye and it's fucking annoying. Think I got it? Yeah, I'm interested in it because I think it's kind of tries to be a little less weird in some ways, so that might be fun. Donkey Kong Land 2 might have some neat little things about it that I will appreciate, hopefully. I think it tries to be a little closer to the second game, like the Super Nintendo one. I noticed that most of the credits don't have full names. Maybe it's like a sprite limitation or something, or they just can't fit it onto their thing, so they abbreviate everything. Look at those silicon graphics. And peacocks. And cocks. And all these peas. And pee-pee. You get it, pee-pee. The joke. Isn't that a funny joke? You know, some people make a lot of good money making those jokes, but they sound a lot more sensual and moe than I do, so it doesn't come off the same way. All-time greats. I'm ranked number 5. I finished way fucking faster than they did, though. Like, substantially so. I'm a cheesy chimp, apparently. So that's that. We're done. I don't think there's anything else to see here. I did a good job. And now, I gotta change all my infos. Donkey Kong Land 2. Do that. Now we gotta do the title. I'm remembering. See, I'm actually remembering things. It can happen. This one's 95. Come on, mouse. Please work with me here. Okay. Is Game Boy like 1 word or 2 words? I'm not sure. Whatever. They might like do it like this. They might be like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. And do that. Maybe put it down a bit. That's somewhat centered. Be a little more to the right. That seems okay-ish. Then, yeah, we got all the info. Updated the title, updated that title up there. I think we're good. So we can, switch on over. So we are going to Game Boy /Color.